Right. Hello. It's episode 4 of the Me, Myself, and Hopefully You podcast. I think it's episode 4. It is episode 4. It's the third week of doing it. We're on episode 4, which is crazy. I can't believe I'm actually still doing it. I've just realised this is like a little mic, isn't it? I should get a mic. Like, the sound quality would probably be better. It's just mics cost loads of money. But I could just get a mic and just sit here and talk to you. Just look directly into your eyes whilst I speak. Do ASMR. Like, I don't even know where the mic is on my phone. Do ASMR. I'd be great. I'd love to do that. I mean, it's a bit weird, but ASMR is good. If you don't know what ASMR is, it's great. It gives you tingles in the back of your head, which sounds really weird. But go on YouTube, type in ASMR. It's brilliant. And once you can find the thing that what your niche is when it comes to ASMR, you can go to sleep so much better. My ASMR is actually a really weird one. I like a bathtub being filled up. So I went on YouTube and I typed in bathtub being filled up, and there was one there. Had millions of views, so other people feel the same. And honestly, I put that in the background. Oh, I just fall asleep like a baby. It's the best thing ever. It takes a long time. I need to be sleepy, but it definitely does get the brain like wired down. And I think it's because I actually remember when I was younger, I used to love like hearing the bath being run at night time and stuff. I used to love it, and I think that it just brings back that nostalgic feeling, and it just makes it feel. It just sounds just nice. I don't know, it's weird, but there's millions. It's got millions of views, and I listen to that like every other night. It's brilliant. So once you find your ASMR niche, it's great. I've just realised I still got this. I've still got the mushroom head as well. Get a haircut in 4 days. Episode 4 more days. Which I can't wait to get. Honestly, this beard is just. Look at this, man. It's disgusting. What is this? There's not even a line. It's just a bunch of squiggles. Like, what is this? Same here. I mean, the shape itself is decent. It's not that bad. Like, I'm quite happy with how the shape's come out, even though it's been 2 months since I got a haircut or a beard trim. So hopefully, Hasland in the north doesn't go into tier 4 in 4 days' time. Because if it does, we're going to shave it all off, and we will be trimming the beard myself. I'll be very annoyed because I could have done that anyway. If it does go into tier 4, that is what I'm going to have to do, because my head is actually looking like a mushroom. You can actually see it. Look, it goes like that, and then it goes, and then it goes like that. It's not very good at all. So how are we all doing? How's everyone's week going? Mine has been pretty decent. Been at home for a week, which is all right. Eating loads of food. Went for a run once. Got an essay due on the first day back on the 11th of January. Haven't started it, obviously. Probably won't even do anything next week, and probably will leave it to the last minute and stress out about it, and then tell myself, the next essay, I'll start early. Won't start early. We'll be in the situation again, and it'll be all fun and games, won't it? Brilliant. Like, I'm seeing people on people's stories going, I've got this lecture to watch. I'm like, I've got lectures to watch. I'm just not watching them. Oh man, I don't know where my motivation levels have gone. It's actually pissing me off. I need to find my motivation levels back, because it's just not very good. In terms of what's happened in the news so far, this week, quite a lot has happened, hasn't it? We've got a Brexit deal, so we're not leaving without a deal, which is for, if anyone doesn't know what that means, that is essentially, it's basically like two people getting a divorce. But you can either get a divorce without agreeing on who gets what in the divorce, or you can get a divorce and agree with who gets what, almost kind of. And some people are saying that we should just leave without an agreement on who gets what and just be able to take whatever we want. Other people are saying, nah, it's good that we've got some sort of deal. And then some people are saying the deal is awful. So that's going to be very interesting. We're going to find out in the next. I think I'm actually going to keep this here and just pretend it's a mic, because I quite like just holding it and speaking and look directly at you, whilst I bedazzle you with my knowledge and integrity and information. No, I'm joking. Yeah, we've got a deal. That's great. COVID, we've hit 70,000 deaths. Isn't very good. I still remember right at the beginning they said 20,000 will be a good scenario or a good case if we had 20,000 deaths. And I remember thinking, 20,000, that's mad. And now we're at 70,000. It might have 20,000. We hit 20,000 quite early, didn't we? So, well, this is the thing. They have to openly admit now that they haven't done a good job. If they said earlier on that 20,000 was a good number of deaths. But they won't, because, it's politics. No one actually likes telling the truth. No, I'm joking. Well, actually, I don't know whether I'm joking. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. You tell me. But But other than that, this week not much has happened. I don't know if anyone saw that Channel 4 version of the Queen's speech. It was quite funny. I found it quite funny. Some people got offended because they're like, oh, they're taking the piss out of the Queen. But it's like, it's all a bit of a joke. It's not too serious. And what it shows is that you can definitely get CGI. CGI and technology is at the point now where you can make someone say something. Because it looked like the Queen. It was a picture of the Queen, but they got her to move around and, you know, had her say stuff and they used her actual voice and, you know, it looked great and it was hilarious. It was better than the actual Queen's speech, which I didn't even bother watching because why would you? Apparently it's Christmas tradition to actually watch it. I don't know why you'd want to. Like, it's just not. It'd be better if it was like someone like had a real, like if it was someone, and no disrespect to the Queen, not like she'd be watching this, but if it was someone that was like kind of rallying, it could be like, yeah, we can do this, and you know, it's been a tough year, but we'll get through it because we're British. Then okay, fair enough, you might watch it. But she just sat there like, it has been a difficult year for many of us. Many have died. Many are not getting the benefits they need, whilst I sit here on my £200 million castle and my millions of jewels with my nonce of a grandson or son and my pedo of another grandson and the runaway couple that is Meghan Markle and Harry that no one cares about, but at the same time everyone cares about. That was an awful impression of the Queen, but it is true. It's just all a load of bollocks, isn't it? I don't know why people would want to watch it. But I mean, if you want to watch it, fair enough. Also, I got another question, right? And if you're actually watching, right, I need you to tell me, is there a specific time you're meant to have Christmas dinner? Because dinner is the last meal, okay? Because it goes breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't care what anyone says. That's how it goes, okay? And the reason why it goes like that is because if you have in between, if you have something in between breakfast and lunch, it's brunch. So clearly the first two are breakfast and lunch. Second one, you can call, the third one, you can call whatever you want. I call that dinner. But if it's called Christmas dinner, then surely you have it later. But then some people have it at like 2 or 3. Some people have it at like 5 or 6. I saw someone have it at 7. And it looked so good. I'm not going to lie. It did look really nice. But everyone has it at different times. Some people have a massive breakfast in the morning and then have it another massive meal at night. I don't know what I'd do if I celebrate Christmas. On Eid, we normally have like a little bit of a breakfast, bits and bobs, you know, like tapas, even though I've never had tapas, but I'm assuming that's what tapas is like. It's like little bits and bobs, you put them together, and it's really nice, and that's like your breakfast. It's a very unhealthy breakfast, but you have that. And you normally have that after Eid prayer. So you do Eid prayer, you eat your little meal, and then whatever, and then you just chill with family. You have like samosas and, you know, little pakoras and all that stuff, like that sort of stuff, like little starters, I guess. And then you normally have like quite a nice big meal. And some people even have one at night. Basically, we just eat loads, especially Asians. We just eat. Basically, throughout the day, you're just eating the whole day, which is just a normal day for me, I guess. So it's not actually that much. It's just more oily foods. That's what Eid is like. But Christmas is, I don't know, I was just quite intrigued because I saw some people putting their Christmas dinner on their stories at like 2, and then some people are having it at 7, unless they're having leftovers from 2, which that actually might be the case, but I don't know. I just assume that's when you'd have it, is at the end, like a nice at the end of the day. But then isn't it, it's similar to a Sunday roast, isn't it? And aren't you meant to have a Sunday roast at like 12? I've never had a Sunday roast. I've only ever heard of them. So I don't know. You tell me. I actually asked a few people. Actually, before I get onto that, right? Like, before I get onto what I asked people to talk, they wanted me to talk about, like 4 or 5 people kind of gave some suggestions, which were quite good. I was watching, do you know when, like, so I was watching Camp Rock, yeah, Disney film. I don't know if anyone knows. It's a great film. Demi Lovato's in it. The Jonas Brothers are in it. It's great. And when I was watching it, I was like, you know, I finally understand this film. And this happens to me all the time. When I watch old movies that I watched when I was younger, I actually understand them now. But it's like, how did I ever watch them in the past and enjoy them? Do you know what I mean? It's like you actually understand what they're saying in the film, and you know what the film is about. But I used to watch Camp Rock like a million times when I was younger, but I never understood the story. But I think at the time, I thought that I understood the story, but I clearly didn't, because when I watched it again, I understood the story. Do you know what I mean? It's weird that. And it happens to me all the time when I watch it and I'll be like, oh, look. And then, you know how like they'll make like adult sexual references or something like that, or like a little joke that like children won't get, but adults will. And it's like, whoa, I can't believe they even mentioned that in this. This is a children's program and they just mentioned it. I don't know. I don't know. Does that happen to anyone else? Because I've watched so many films when I was younger and I must have not understood any of them then. Oh, it's pretty crazy, that. Like how you just don't. But then yet you enjoy it enough to watch it. I just found that quite interesting. And I actually noted that down on my notes because I wanted to talk about that. Because I want to know, does anyone else have that? Where they'll watch something again and they'll be like, oh my God, now I actually understand the story. It just makes sense to me. But it's a great film, Camp Rock. You should watch it. If anyone's got Disney Plus, watch it on that. If you haven't, just watch it on 1, 2, 3 movies. It's great. But yeah, with the suggestions that came in, there was a few suggestions. Most of them were to do with the new year. Which, we're 4 days away from the new year. How mad is that? We're going to be in 2021. That is mental. I can't believe that. Like, it's been a year where we've known about the coronavirus. And just a year in general. What a year it's been. And it's gone so quick. I feel like this whole coronavirus period has basically been, you know, that period between Christmas and New Year's where it's just weird. And every day just feels like a Sunday. And it just feels weird. Particularly for someone that watches football as well, because there's so much football on in that time. It just feels like every day is a weekend. And obviously, because I was always in school, I had holidays at that point. It was just, I would have holidays, so I didn't go into school early, but then I'd work in the takeaway a lot, because this period of time is quite busy in the takeaway. So it was always it just always felt like a Sunday to me, or more like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday kind of thing. But this whole, from March to now, has just felt like that. And now we're actually in that period. Do you know what I mean? So basically what I'm trying to say is from March to now has felt like the period between Christmas and New Year's. But now we're actually in Christmas and New Year's. Or that period between Christmas and New Year's. And it just feels weird and wrong. I don't know if anyone else feels like that. But we are about to head into the new year. But before we head into the new year, I feel like every year you should reflect on what's happened. And obviously quite a lot. Nothing has actually happened apart from the big thing, the C word, coronavirus. So I guess that's kind of like almost the only thing to talk about. But there is actually so much that you can mention. I'm sure you all do. I'm sure you've all heard of a guy called Stephen Tries on YouTube. He's hilarious, probably one of the best comedians or modern day comedians. And he did a video like summing up 2020, and he spoke about something that happened every month in 2020. And you listen, you watch it, and it's hilarious. But then at the same time, you think, bloody hell, as if that happened in 2020. That feels like it was ages ago. Or like we just don't talk about it. Like, it's going to be a year since Kobe died, which I wasn't even a fan of basketball. But when I saw the kind of impact it had, and obviously his daughter died, which that was pretty crazy and emotional. But like, when he died and you saw the impact it had on people that did watch basketball and did look up to him. Now the fact that was a year ago is crazy. Like, I remember when it was all over Twitter. People were thinking that Kobe had just died. People thought Kobe and his whole family had died. People thought it was Kobe and his daughters and his wife was still alive and all that stuff. That was a year ago, or gonna be a year ago, which is crazy. And we were talking about like coronavirus ain't gonna happen. Oh, we're not gonna go into lockdown. That's just stupid. And we ended up going to lockdown for months, and we're technically still in it. Who would have thought in March that we'd still be talking about it? It just goes to show you can plan as much as you want, but those plans can be shattered by absolutely anything, which you shouldn't necessarily look at that as a bad thing, because it gives you kind of an opportunity to, all right, sit down, relax, observe, and sort of, make another decision. If we didn't have coronavirus, would I have started this podcast? Probably not. I didn't even have plans to start. I said I wanted to start a blog like 3 years ago, but I just can't be bothered writing. It's just effort. And I prefer speaking. And I thought, podcast's not a bad idea. And I can just kind of put on a camera, say whatever I want. There's no script. And it can be quite interesting. I really do want to get other people on. It's just I need to figure out, again, I can't be bothered. But I need to figure out like how to get 2 people on at the same time using this app called Anchor, and just have a chat and see what everyone's up to, how everyone's life is going, and whatever. Because I think it would just be quite fun, because you don't want to hear me talk. I mean, I say you don't want to hear me talk all day, but you've clicked the video or you click the Spotify link. So you pretty much do. You've not really got an excuse not to. I mean, you can if you want, just go off it, but that's beside the point. We got like 70 views / listens, which again is just crazy. Madness. I can't believe that. And the amount of views and listens goes up every day. Like even towards the end of the week, I always think that at the beginning of the week when I first uploaded, that's when it'll get the most views, and then after that, the increase in views will drop off. But in the last day or so, I've had like 5 extra views / listens, which, I mean, fair enough, people are actually saving it, wanting to listen to it later, which is great. And yeah, I don't want to focus on numbers. I just want to sort of do this just for the fun of it. It's an opportunity for me to rant. I'd actually encourage other people to do it. Like, even if you don't upload it anywhere, just record yourself. Don't even watch it back. Just record yourself, save it to your phone, and then don't watch it back. But it's such a good way to sort of vent and let your feelings out and just talk about whatever you want. And if you want to talk about it with me, feel free to give me a message. If you want to talk about it with me on the podcast, feel free to give me a message once I figure out how to do it. I've got 2 people that have said that they would love to come on, which would just be fun, innit? I don't know what we talk about. We just talk about whatever. Just have a casual conversations. You guys can listen. The 10 people that are listening can listen. And I know. It could just be a bit of fun. I don't know, but I would recommend anyone to sort of do something like this, just because it's obviously a weird time for everyone. And I feel like, especially with the new tiers, and we're inevitably not going to go into a full lockdown, but these tiers are going to be staying for a long time. The North will probably go back into tier 4, maybe. It's going to be a long road. And so you're going to need something to sort of keep you occupied. Before I did this podcast, I actually ordered a diary for 2021. I thought that could almost keep me going. But then now I've done this, I probably won't. I mean, I probably will still use it, actually. It's just, that'll probably be more for private stuff. Not that I have anything to be private about anyway. My life is actually quite boring. But I don't know. I'd recommend it. It's just quite fun. Someone did message someone and they said, they told me that they love podcasts, but they just don't have the confidence to do it. I'm just like, honestly, put your phone in front of you. You don't need to buy anything. Get your phone, put it on the front camera, and just turn it on and say hello. Right, this person's got like 1,000 followers on Instagram. I was like, people will listen to you. You're an interesting person, at least from what I can gather from speaking to you. And so people will want to listen to you. You clearly have got a lot of friends. I've seen that you in school were around a lot of people. So just do it, just for the fun of it. It'll be interesting. I mean, the 2 guys, James and Ismail, that did it. That inspired me to do it. There's just 2 friends having a chat about whatever, and I found it quite interesting to listen to. I watched all their episodes, and I hope they release more episodes, because it was just interesting to listen to, because it was people that you could relate with, that were your age, that were just talking about whatever. They were genuinely just talking about their weeks and how their week's gone, and then they'd go on and talk about whatever topic they wanted to talk about. I mean, yeah, it was fun. Anyway, some people did. I asked for topics, and if you have got any topics, let me know. I've got a few topics here that people did want to kind of talk about. One of them was about best books / films of the year. And I'll be honest, I've probably only read one book, but this book is probably the best book I've ever read. It's right here. It's this one here. I don't know if you can get it. Yeah. It's called This Mortal Coil by Emily Savada. Mate, I read this at the beginning of lockdown. During Ramadan, I actually read this. Bloody hell, what a book it is. It is the most interesting book I've read. It had the biggest plot twists ever. And there's actually sequels to this. Is that what you call them? Sequels? Books? Or is that just for films? I don't know. But whatever. The next book is available, and I do need to read it. And I read this book in probably the space of a week, and it is how many pages? 450 pages. 450 pages in a week is like mental for me. I wish I was into reading. I really do. I'm into audiobooks. I'm good with audiobooks, especially when I used to clean. I was very good with audiobooks then, because I could just keep it in the background, clean, and then, watch the next part the next day. But with books and reading, I just always like, oh, I can't be bothered. But once I get into it, I do want to read it. And it was the case with this one. Like, I remember, I think I spent 3 hours in the middle of the night. I mean, like 3 o'clock to 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. The last part of the book I was just reading because I was so into it at the end. It was brilliant. And it's a huge cliffhanger at the end. It's really interesting. It's about... So it's in the future. It's quite sci-fi kind of related, and I'm not into sci-fi. I just picked up this book because a friend said she really enjoyed it, and she gave me the book in like September of 2019, and I eventually read it like nearly a whole year later. And I wish I read it earlier because it was a brilliant book. But yeah, so it's a sci-fi book. It's about this girl, and they're in this world. They've got this virus. It's weird. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't know what I'm trying to say. There's a virus out, and the virus has spread, and they need to get a vaccine. And I'm trying to think about what it's actually about because I don't know how to summarize it. But they're trying to get this vaccine. But this girl thinks that the people that are giving out this vaccine are trying to control everyone. You know how like you've got these conspiracy theorists that are coming out and saying this vaccine is going to put a chip in us and the government wants to control us. Basically, she thinks that this organization wants to do that. Then she meets someone from the organization, and then something to do with her dad, and her dad ends up being taken away by this organization because her dad's really smart scientist and they want him to work on the vaccine with them, and they force him to work. It's just such an interesting book. I don't even know how to summarize it. It is the best book I've read ever. Beats Of Mice and Men, beats The 12th Imam, everything. Such a good book. Highly recommend it. This Mortal Coil by Emily Savada. Definitely recommend. I think it's actually the only book I actually read. I've got so many books like on my wish list and whatever, and I have picked up another book, and I'm hoping to read it. I'm hoping to read it like over the next few months or weeks or whatever. It's called Sleep by Nick Littlehills. There's another one called Sleep, Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. I've got the audiobook of that, so I'll listen to that. But it's basically just about the importance of sleep, and the reason why. And I sort of mentioned this, I think, in the second episode, is because sleep is so important and we don't realize how important it is. And I would massively recommend Matthew Walker podcast. Just type in Matthew Walker, Joe Rogan podcast. Watch the podcast. It's like 3 hours long. It is so interesting. That podcast changed my perspective of sleep completely, because sleep is so important and we don't even realize it. So massively recommend that podcast, and honestly you will change the outlook on sleep you have. And I listened to it earlier this year, I think in probably like February time, and I told myself I'd prioritize sleep. I still haven't, but I'm hoping in 2021 the main aim, and probably the only aim of 2021, is sort my sleep out, because there's no point in trying to lose weight. There's no trying to be more productive. There's no point in trying to learn more and do essays and get involved at uni if I'm not getting enough sleep, because sleep is the foundation of everything you do. And we've sort of developed this mindset of we need to be productive 24/7. But if you want to be productive, you need to have the right amount of sleep. You really do. It's something, I read something that I think it was Matthew Walker that said, when you have less than 6 hours sleep, your brain works as if you were half drunk or something crazy like that. Half drunk, like I might even be fully drunk. I'm not 100% sure. But I mean, I don't drink, and you're telling me my brain is working like that most days, because most days I'm only getting 6 hours sleep. I'm on my phone at night time. I'm on my phone when I first wake up. I'm lying in bed, like I'm not getting full. I constantly wake up in the middle of the night because my phone's on or something like that. YouTube is on in the background or whatever. And so, yeah, that is I would say probably the main New Year's resolution. I do kind of want to talk about kind of New Year's resolutions, and someone did suggest to talk about how to thrive in 2021 with COVID. I mean, again, I don't know how to thrive in 2021 with COVID. I'm not a coach, although that would be quite an interesting job, is to be a coach. But maybe in like the next episode next week, which we will be in 2021, we can talk about that, about 2021. And about New Year's resolutions and all that jazz. 2021 will be a long year, I'm sure, but hopefully it'll be an interesting one. And that should be it for today. 24 minutes, 24:19 we're on. Hope everyone has had a nice Christmas, has a lovely New Year. Enjoy yourself. And honestly, I know most people go out for New Year's. This is what I want everyone to do this New Year. I want you to chill at home. I want you to go have a shower. I want you to put on some decent clothes or some comfy clothes, whatever you want. I want you to put on a film, a nice classic film, and I want you to watch that and just enjoy. Yeah, and just take some time for yourself. Prioritize yourself and just tell yourself this year, no matter what happens, no matter the external circumstances, I'm going to prioritize myself and prioritize my own mental health. I'm going to do what makes my mental health good and functional and healthy, because that's what we've got to do. We've had a tough year in 2020, and 2021, who knows, it'll probably be even more tougher, but we've had this sort of punch to the stomach, and we might get punched more, but because we've taken that first punch, yeah, we know what it feels like. And if we go into the year scared and fearing what's going to happen, and we don't start it off in a way that prioritizes the way you start your day, it tends to be how the rest of your day goes. So we need to start the year in a way that we want the rest of the year to go. And if we prioritize ourselves on that first day, on the 31st of December, going into midnight, and if there's fireworks, we watch the fireworks or whatever, and we sort of go, you know what, I'm gonna put myself forward this year. I'm gonna push through it. I'm gonna have days off. I'm gonna be inconsistent with my running and with my exercise and with my gym and with my sleep and whatever. But I'm gonna get back on it. I'm gonna get back on it. Because that's how you end up building some sort of consistency. I have no idea what I've just said in the last 2 minutes or in the last 26 minutes, but hopefully you've enjoyed. And hopefully you've actually stuck around for the whole 26. If you actually listen to the whole thing, please do tell me. Because I feel like people just listen to the first 5 minutes and go, yeah, I can't bother. So if you listen to the whole 26 minutes, please do tell me. Because I will be very interested. But yeah, have a nice week. And I'll see you guys on Sunday or whatever day you're going to listen to it. But the day I record it is on a Sunday, so I can upload it for Sunday. And then you got a whole week to watch it. So see you in a bit.